Kpro Cow Pow Wow. Marion and Indy are what they're like, although their real names are Christy and Mike. Can they pin down the treasure? They just might. Tune in to find out Monday nights. Kpro Cow Pow Wow. Kpro Cow Pow Wow Wow. It's the Kpro Cow Pow Wow.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're live. It's Monday. It's the Kpro Cow Pow Wow. What's everybody else doing? We just had a nice boring afternoon waiting to go live.
It's a little.
Oh, you son of a. Hey, how you doing, Kpro?
I'm good. How are you?
Audio's good. Okay. Check.
Check.
All right.
Check. And
Nope. And I'm on the wrong. Hang on. I can't even find the video. We're a little discombobba today. Oh, there we go. Okay. I just made some hot tea
why didn't you make any coffee, Mike?
out of creamer. Remember when you said, well, and I was like, no, we're good. Yeah, I forgot about that. So
Yeah, do you remember when I said I think I dumped out all of the stuff you use for your coffee?
little ding, ding, ding.
All righty. All right. There you have it.
Give it a minute for everybody to get in here.
Yeah.
Posting the link anymore, anybody? You got to
no.
subscribe.
Subscribe. You need to subscribe.
Know what time it is. Although I didn't go live over the weekend.
Oh shoot. And we didn't, and none of our haters are here yet. We have 6 thumbs up and 0 thumbs down.
Well, because we didn't post the link, so they don't know because they're not subscribed. So, yeah,
Exactly.
I will put it in the Grand Adventure, but that's after we go live. So
Ooh, that's after. How do you like that, guys?
change the thumbnail because I didn't have a chance. So they're gonna think it's Forrest Fenn clips, but it's not. But whatever. People know.
Do you see Candy's little? If I didn't say, well,
What happened? Who said what?
remind me to never spill my secrets to Kpro when I'm under the influence of tequila.
Well, it'll do it. That's why they call it tequila. Where I'm from, anyway. And then, okay. All right. Why am I going through Facebook when we're live? Okay, everybody. It's Monday night. It's 6 p.m. Kpro Cow Pow Wow, where we discuss all things Forrest Fenn. And you never know. Sometimes we get into some other things too, like dipping your toe and toenails and coronavirus and all kinds.
I don't know what you mean. Toenails? Why would anybody talk about toenails and dipping toes in anything?
It's all related.
Do you want to talk about the most shocking, impressive, awesome, groundbreaking, change the world news that happened this weekend?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's hear
What
it.
happened this weekend?
I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about. What happened this week?
Oh, you were there.
Oh, somebody won the poker tournament. That would be Kpro. She won the Forrest Fenn Searcher poker tournament and won the Too Far to Walk copper piece from Copper Dan.
There you go.
Were there 50? I can't remember. Oh, wait. Over 4 tournaments, we played down to the top 12. And me and Kpro were both in because we're good poker players. There was 11. There was one person couldn't make it, I guess, so they didn't show up. So there were 11 of us on the final 2 tables. I got knocked out like second, but Kpro was head-to-head with who? Forrest Fenn, not the Forrest Fenn, but somebody with the screen name of Forrest Fenn. Heads up, and she took it down. So congratulations to Kpro. That was pretty awesome.
And I will say, out of the 12, how many women were in the top 12, Mike?
Just you, honey. Just you. Just the lead searcher. And
just the lead poker player. And yeah. And I do have to say, Mike and I had an appointment that we really had to get to. So I said to Mike,
we're in a hurry too.
I'm just going to keep pushing all in, and I'm either winning it or I'm coming in second. And I will just say that perhaps Forrest Fenn, the poker player, and I had some not so kind words previously.
Let it go.
No. Well, people were calling him my nemesis. I'm not going to say nemesis, but sometimes when you win against somebody that you might have had a word with before, makes it even sweeter. I wish I was a better person. I'm sorry, Mike.
What's that Disney movie? Frozen? Let it go.
Oh, you need to get a sound clip.
Aren't there more important things?
Coronavirus!
Aren't there more important things in the world to worry about?
Coronavirus!
I beat my honey in a poker tournament. How's that for you?
So Copper Dan, it's been a day. I don't know where the piece is, but we went to the mailbox looking for it. So whenever, Dan, whenever. We know you're busy over there in Minnesota town. All right, but tonight, what are we going to talk about? We're talking about 9 clues.
9 clues. And no, we're not talking about the poker player 9 clues. We're talking about 9 clues.
All the good names are taken in the poker. Cowlazars, probably the best one.
Do you see? Holly, what kind of appointments happen on a Sunday?
Wow. I'm just all up in your business.
I will say Holly was the first one, and she kept the secret to figure out when I was in Vegas. And she wrote me privately. It's like, I think you might be somewhere. She wasn't too inquisitive. She just said, and I smiled. And I was like, wow, if you talk about like characteristics of a good treasure hunter, Holly figures out stuff before people even figure out there's something to figure out. That's how good she is.
Chasing Indy says I have something cool you guys could discuss.
Ooh, okay, Chasing.
And then if she was here in person, you go like this. Do. But that's an old game. So since she's not here, I'm not sure what she's referring to.
I don't even know what
Hey,
that
everybody, look, this is cool. Do. And then, no, you don't know that game? How do you not know that game? You're muted.
is. It probably on a TV show that I didn't watch or something?
Oh, it's an old game. How many of you guys know this game, don't you? Anyway, it doesn't matter. A thumbs up the video if you know that game. I don't know what you call it. Circle game? Maybe you call it circle.
Wow, all of our 6 thumbs up and now thumbs down. Just kidding.
Yeah, 12. Okay. But yeah, Chasing Indy, if you want to put that in the chat, maybe we'll discuss it. But what we wanted to talk about was
Coronavirus.
no, not that. We're not going to talk about that, which I hope is going away for everybody, or things that get back to normal eventually. That's why I put up the Vegas Strong from downtown. Yeah, actually no coffee today, Jack. Tea with a lot of lemon, with a lot of honey. I miss a lemon, a lot of honey. So yeah, maybe. Did we have a Priddle Monday tonight, AJ? I don't know.
I saw it was on. I didn't get. My whole schedule is off. I'm sorry, AJ.
Yeah, everything was. Yeah, it was a day today. So,
I do have to say,
for you.
I wanted to ask something to the West Coasters. So here is something that I have found when all of the tubers that are scheduled on a night, that is 9 o'clock East Coast time. That is pretty much where dinner's done, homework's done, winding down from the day. Maybe there's a movie or something going on. I easily cannot interrupt my life. And I get on, AGK, whatever it is, or art for an hour or two, and it's not a big deal because it doesn't intrude in my life. I will say I appreciate Mike so much more now, and Indy and AGK, everybody that's West Coast or close to it. This is right in the middle of dinner. And
that's right. How I sacrifice for the people in the chat.
Well, and like if you have kids in sports and you have it this and that, I think we might go later. I'm just saying.
Not on Mondays and Thursdays anyway. But speaking of that, Super Chat's on. And if you guys want to donate to the cause, you can also thumbs up the video and Chaseopolis for sale. I got 6 maps left, everybody. 6 maps. That's all we have left. And once those are gone, that's it. They're gone. They just took one to the post office last week. The Too Far to Walk benchmark map. Wall map, 24 by 30 inches, can be yours for the low price of $75 plus $9.99 shipping and handling. Speaking of 9, we were going to talk about the 9 clues today and why are there 9. Kpro had a theory on this. Go ahead, Kpro.
Well, it started out, I think it was a Facebook post, and then couple it with a discussion that was on Dave Calvi's channel of why 9? Why does everybody count 9? Well, Forrest said there are 9 clues, right? Now, some people think the word 9, the definition of 9 means something. And if you look at the 9 this and the 9 that and the 9 other, kind of the first step is why 9? And I think we can debunk that there is, hold on one second. I'm having a situation.
Well, can you imagine, everybody, if Forrest never came out and said 9 clues? What if he just said, here's a poem and you follow the clues? How many would we have come up with on our own? 15, 20, 30, 100. Every word's a clue.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I can keep the show going. I can do it. And hopefully.
Good job.
That's what you guys will say when we're done. So yeah, what if Forrest had never came out and said 9 clues? He just said, follow this poem precisely and it will lead you directly to the treasure. How many clues could we have come up with? Now, some people, I think it's a distinct possibility that they would have said 9 clues because there's 9 sentences and they would have did the 1 sentence per clue per sentence type thing. Possibly. But And what if Forrest had never came out and we finally found the radio interview where he said begin at warm waters halts is the first clue? I mean, we would have had so many clues. Well, you know what? Even though he says 9 clues, we still can't agree on what the 9 clues are. Are you good,
Well,
Kate?
yeah, everything's good. Well, so the first step I think we need to take is, does 9 mean something specifically? Like, was there a reason that Forrest constructed the poem in such a way that there were 9? And I think the answer to that is no. Mike, you can ring up in your command center of the world, Terry Scant, where he says something like, if somebody wants to get the exact quote, but he says something like, why 9? I wrote the poem and it ended up being 9. Like, he didn't pick 9 for a reason.
Right.
I don't believe, correct? You remember that quote in general?
So he said that's just about what it was when it was done. But he said, I always knew the location. And I always knew, yeah, you know, I should probably look it up so I don't mess it up. But Jack says, Mike, honestly, I never even counted the clues while boots on the ground. It's not needed. Just follow the poem. The clue count is not too important. Well, I guess you could say that if you're actually following the poem. But how do you follow the poem when your boots on the ground? You've got to determine what's a clue to follow, right? I mean, how do you follow the poem while your boots on the ground if you don't already have a preconceived notion of what you're looking for? Does that sound right?
Well, let's even go further. I believe the 9 hints correspond to 9 points on a map. And there was a couple of different reasons for that. He has said, God, I can't remember the quote right now, but he has put out a couple of hints or clues and more hints and quotes out there about 9 clues, and he has said at least 4 of them of like, what is your blaze, or www. This not associated with the dam, etc. I believe every location, what is your home of brown? He has talked about those. So he has talked about WWWH, he's talked about canyon, he has talked about home of brown, and he's talked about blaze. I believe those are 4 of the 9, and Mike and I did a show about this. So if you are, let's say you're going from point A to point B, and it is a mile, and there are 9 points that you are going to change direction. I believe it's extremely important to know which 9 those are. There's no way, and especially if you can't start with the first location, you must have it. But if it is, you go, let's just say for the sake of discussion, WWWH is a certain spring. Then there is a canyon, which is your next location. There's Meek. Let's just say Meek is your next one. That is the next location, and you turn a certain set of, and there might be directional clues as well, but you need to have those 9 points. I think it would be impossible if you didn't have those 9 points. Correct, Mike? Or are you and I on different pages? What do you think?
I agree with that. There has to be geographic points. Otherwise, how do we find it? You have to be looking at something to know to correspond from the poem to the place on the map. It's got to be either the name of a location or physically there. It matches. But what about a direction? Could a direction be one of the clues? A direction would not be a geographic point.
So Forrest has said, I think it was to Cynthia, every line has something important in it, but and he's also said there's 9 clues, and I believe they are 9 points. If you take that, I absolutely believe there are directional hints, but they are not clues. Okay, how come searchers were 200 feet and it took Forrest Fenn 1,000 feet twice? Might be 2 ways in because he could have gotten a lot closer. No, please talk to us.
You understand that?
Yeah, close enough. He never said he walked 1,000 feet twice that I know of. So Oz Tex, if you can find a quote where Forrest said, I walked 1,000 feet twice, he did say 2 trips to the car. I don't believe he said 1,000 feet twice. I can be proved wrong very easily. Get a quote, show me, and then I can help you. But I don't think that.
So here's a couple quotes I found. This is from Reddit, so maybe they're paraphrasing, but it sounds right. There are 9 clues in the poem, and the clues are in consecutive order. What does that mean to you, Kpro? Consecutive order.
It means they're consecutive, they're in order. I don't know what a synonym is for that. What do you mean? Touching.
Consecutive to me means in order. You follow one, then the other. You're not jumping around. Okay. And now he could mean in the poem, and he is talking about the poem. There are 9 clues in the poem, and the clues are in consecutive order. So if anybody's in stanza 2 and then they go stanza 1, stanza 5, that disproves that theory. They're in order. They're in consecutive order, the 9 clues. Okay. That's right, Joseph. This is from Mysterious Writings, 2014. That's right. You should start with the first clue and follow the others consecutively to the treasure. Again, the clues are in order in the poem. If you have a theory or a solve where you're bouncing around the poem, I think that disproves that.
And Alan K, though you retracted it, I agree with what you said too.
Why do you retract it?
I don't know. I don't think it gave away anything too much, but he was making a distinction. Oh, there we go. Consecutive and contiguous.
And chronological.
Right. Now the chronological gets, my head starts spinning with the first two I agree with, and those are different, yet there's some similarities. When you say consecutive, chronological, ooh, that puts me in a whole different chronological to what? Chronological is in, I think of in Nez Perce, it's the first battle, the second battle, the third battle. Did you say, oh Lord?
Hang on, let me look up chronological real quick.
One day, Nez Perce is going to be right. And I know.
Now, I understand when people think chronological, they think time, right? But there is a definition where a record of events starting with the earliest and following the order in which they occurred. The entries are in chronological order. And that definitely ties in with what he said about the 9 clues in the poem. They are consecutive. They are in order. They must be followed in order, right?
But the chat room, and let me remind you, my friend, chronological in time, in order in time.
Possible. Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
Tony Rusi earlier said, why can't there be a place and a direction in the line of their poem? And there absolutely can. It's just, I was wondering if Kpro considers a direction. So in other words, canyon down, canyon is a clue, but down is a direction. If I'm in the canyon, which way do I go? So you don't count the direction as one of the clues. You count it as the canyon clue together in one clue, correct?
I actually don't. I'm a little bit different, but very similar to your canyon is the clue, one of the 9, and down is direction. Just like nigh, I believe, is left.
Right. But those clues was part of the 9 clues. Those are not separate.
I do not believe those are part. My opinion is they're not a part of the 9 clues, but I could be wrong.
Right. But the other thing that's important for anybody new out there that might not know is Forrest already had the location in mind. He said, I was going to make it work no matter what. So he didn't start from a high level of the Rocky Mountains and narrow down. He started at the location. He was there at the spot and went, okay, how can I backward engineer these clues in reverse to lead a searcher to where the chest is. So he started with the blaze. Think about that. When Forrest wrote the poem, in his mind, he had to reverse engineer it. Why you say no?
I kind of agree with you. I agree with you. Everything except the end. I don't believe blaze is the last clue. I believe the location is the last place because you're looking quickly down.
So you believe Dave Calvi, what he was talking about last night?
I turned in. You guys were going. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, and this was in our YouTube. Dave deleted all his videos except the one last night that me and Kpro were on. So if you guys check out Dave Calvi on YouTube, you can watch it. But he believes he found the blaze. But what he thinks the blaze is, it does not mark the treasure chest location. It marks the area where the treasure chest is. It just marks a location. It denotes a geographic point. And then from there, he's saying there's other things you have to do to find the chest, which he didn't go into. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's possible. We know the blaze is a clue, though. Forrest has said the blaze is a clue, right? Kpro?
Right, and Terry Scant means run the hell out of there. So Terry Scant, a lot of people had as one of the 9 points. I do not believe it is. So let's picture Forrest before he hid the treasure chest.
Yeah,
he is at his location, which is where the treasure chest is buried / put in its place / sepultured / whatever the right terminology for you is. That location. I believe he would be looking up and goes there, like you just said, backwards engineer. There's something I'm going to call the blaze, and then starts to work it backwards. And it could be this way, but there's 9 points.
And the other thing is, I believe that you have to follow the 9 points to get to the chest. I don't think there's any other way to get in there. So I think all he had to do was say, what's the one way you can walk in here, and then come up, create those clues to match the geographic points that are already there. He says most of the clue, what did he say? Most of the locations were there when I was a kid. You know, I'd have to look it up so I don't butcher it.
Oh, that was a show today. Who put a video out today? Oh, Shelly. Yeah. Yeah. And it was exactly that quote. None of the clues existed, but most of the locations did, is how I think it was. But go and watch her video today and you'll find out. Okay, lots of Kpros. Kpro, okay, Heavy Load says 9 clues because they are braided in strands of 3. In my opinion, I know what you're saying, but
what does that mean?
it doesn't even matter what it means, because I think what he means is like 3 strands. When you're braiding hair, you put it in 3 and you braid it. But here's what I mean. No, because 9 didn't mean anything. There could have been 8. There could have been 12. There could have been 624. 624 doesn't mean anything. 9 doesn't mean anything. So in my opinion, Heavy Loads, no. But again, I could be wrong.
Yeah, we don't think there's an importance to the number 9 is what we're trying to get across. That just happened to be the number of geographic waypoints that will lead you to the treasure if you can find where warm waters halt. That's the key to the whole thing.
So CJC, I saw the Nez Perce Creek. I'll go and dig it up, and I might even have it here. That'll be a future show. I gave it to Cynthia and Follow Me Down, my old search partner. Neither of them were too fired up about it. It had some things that maybe I got some feedback from someone that might have said, where do you tip your toe in it and dip your toe in it? And I scrapped it, but it's an interesting solve.
So Chasing Indy found the quote. The clues did not exist when I was a kid, duh. But most of the places the clues refer to did. Most of the places.
Most.
Which could that mean that he created the blaze? Because that didn't exist when he was a kid, because he had to create it to mark where the treasure chest is.
Ooh, that's a different way of thinking. Shelly today thought most means that not all of them were, and it wasn't that they needed to be created, but they could have like been a recently named whatever it was.
But he said, well, I see what you're saying. So the places the clues refer to did, meaning
if it's like Brown Mountain, maybe it wasn't Brown Mountain 60 years ago.
He was a kid. Yeah, okay. Or that he created the blaze is a possibility, I would say.
I hadn't thought about that. Okay. Alan K, I'm way behind, so I'm gonna have to scroll for a while, but scrapbook 115, and try to place it in my frog jar as to keep it in chronological order with the others. That wasn't stated just right, but hopefully you all will know what I mean. I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, I don't see where that is. Who's that from?
Alan K at 920.
Alan, are you drunk? Alan K. I don't see. At 9:20. What do you mean at 9:20?
Let's see. It'd be 6:20 on your. My stuff's still set up on my time.
Got to do with it.
Okay, so Oz says researchers figured that it's so long because he did it in one afternoon, and he told you if you walk more than a mile, it's too long. Okay, that's where you're getting the 1,000. So 1,000 feet, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Okay.
I don't know about that.
But he's never said 1,000, so that's the hard part. It could be what's a quarter? No, it would have to.
How many feet are in a mile, everybody? Quick, all you searchers.
Isn't it?
How many feet are in a mile?
1,600.
I have no idea.
1,600. I ran track. 1,600. 4 times around the track.
1,600 feet are in a mile. Is that right?
No, that's 400 yards.
280, Nemo says.
52. Yeah. How many yards? 1,600 yards.
Okay.
Yards.
5,216 feet in 1 mile. Is that correct? We've got 5,280.
I'm no longer answering because I get laughed at from Michael and he gets into trouble. No, it is 5,280 and it's 1,600 yards. So 1,600 yards times 3, 1,600 times 3 is 8 yes, that's it. Okay, Sassafras, here's a question for Kpro. What could Forrest Fenn say that would convince people that the clues are in consecutive order as listed in the poem? No matter what he says, people seem to find their way around it. Oh, absolutely. People have said WWWH is not the first clue. People can absolutely say.
That's what I say to that.
The only thing all searchers agree on is Douglas Preston knows more. We cannot even agree that WWWH is the first clue. Yeah, thank you.
Guys, if you don't go off of what Forrest says, I mean, why are you even involved? Because if he's dishonest about one little thing, he could be dishonest about everything. So I don't understand why he says something. Now, I know we can agree on interpretation of what he says, but when he says there's 9 clues, and if you follow them precisely, it will lead you right to the treasure chest. How do you I don't know how they.
Now, Covert One is bringing up a good point, and I think there's a distinction here. He's saying, am I suggesting reverse engineer? No. What I am suggesting is Forrest Fenn at the beginning had to reverse engineer it if he knew where his location was, that he wanted to put the final piece or the final treasure chest, and then he wanted to go back from there. When he put this poem together, he had to reverse engineer it. And I think he did so in a way that others couldn't, or he thinks that. I still don't know if Forrest could have thought 400,000 different ways people can think about things.
Right.
And so I don't know if he genuinely knows that. He seems so confident about it because I think the blaze is truly like a rock pile. And so I don't think you can reverse engineer it, but that's just me. How can somebody not stumble upon it? So, I mean, anyway, that one's tough for me, but okay. Let me see if we're caught up because okay.
So, Chasing Indy, are you saying you want me to share what you emailed to us? I'm reading your email, but you're saying to go ahead and share it on the show. That's what I wasn't sure. Randy is in the chat room.
Randy, oh, Mike.
Stop drinking.
Oh, Randy, you were adorable. Just in case you didn't know, because this came up earlier, you asked 5280, 5280, 5280, 5280, 5216, 526.
I had no idea. You could have told me it was 1,000, and I know there's 100 yards in football is 300 feet, 3 feet in a yard, right? Did I get that one right? I don't know. So how many football fields is that in a mile? 300.
Who cares? What? Why are we doing this?
I don't know. Well, somebody's been within 200 feet. You got to visualize it. 200 feet. That's what we should do, is go to the park and actually measure out the 200 feet.
There is a fabulous video from another. Okay.
I saw it. And then you're like, wow, they were that close. That's crazy. All right.
No, they're that far away. Oz, how could all those clues be in one place and be so isolated where you're talking 500 feet from the home of Brown? Oh, you're still making another assumption. I do not think Homer Brown is 500 feet away. But here's what I will say. I believe 500 feet is from the parking lot. And I think 200 feet is off the beaten path.
I'm going wherever the clues lead me, if I can get that where warm water's hauled.
I'm not going to rule it out because of that, but how do I make sense of people have been, several people have been 500, a few have been 200. That's how I make sense of that.
Right. Well, Candy, what you said's kind of interesting. I mean, it's a theory, but I still didn't see if she posted if she wants to share it or not.
Hold on. She keeps telling me, tell you to check your email. Tell you to check
your email. Check it. I've already read it. I just didn't know I'm assuming she wants me to share it. That's why she sent it. It's about where the treasure chest is. That's all. No big deal.
Oh, okay. Oz, he's trying to help me a long time ago.
It is just audio, baby.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on. I'm still catching. Okay. Yes, she said yes. Otherwise known as go ahead, Mike.
All right, here we go. Straight from Chasing Indy. Check out her YouTube channel. There are 3 stamps in the Thrill of the Chase that talk about somewhere. And right in the Golden Moor chapter above the chest, it says somewhere north of Santa Fe. And this is what Forrest said. I knew exactly where to hide the chest, so it would be difficult to find, but not impossible. It's in the mountains somewhere north of Santa Fe. So the only places that mention somewhere in the book are Looking for Lewis and Clark, The Long Ride Home, and last but not least, Golden Moor. So her theory is that I believe the chapter Golden Moor is a hint telling you that the solution can only be found, or the subtle hints can only be found in one of the other 2 chapters that contain the word somewhere. Hang on. There it is. That's Candy's solution, never before shared. Well, maybe she did it on her YouTube channel. I'm not aware of it. But the word, she's saying the word somewhere is only in the book in 2 other chapters. So maybe it's a hint that the hints are in those 2 other chapters. So yeah, it's viable. Hey, everything's viable unless it's crazy. And that one's not crazy, in my opinion.
But here's my problem with Indy. Indy, I'm just going to say it right out loud. She finds these clever things, but there's so many of them and they're not crazy, but it's a big, huge pile of spaghetti. So many of them. Spaghetti. I have such a hard time. Like that one is a great example. Is that coincidence? Is that rabbit hole? Now let's go and look at that chapter and spend hours and then go, I'm not finding anything more, but I love all the coincidence. The postage stamps, which ones are capitalized at the beginning of each. There's so many, and Indy puts in the time. There's somebody that has really put in the time and researches them and then shares some of them. And some of them are like, ooh, that's clever, but too much, too far. I don't know.
Did I do good, Daddy?
That was from Candy. Okay. So 9. Why 9? Because that's how it worked out to be. That's how many points it takes you.
Mike, show the photos.
To
Indy says show the photos. She's going to get up in your grill. Forrest never mentioned the place where the chest is. You have to understand his slippery logic. Okay. I don't know.
Slippery logic. All right, I'm just going to show the email, everybody. Boom. There it is. That is the postmark that is right above the treasure chest in Golden Moor, somewhere north of Santa Fe. And it's in orange, which ties into Halloween. I don't know. I got it. It's like when you get pulled over in Canada for speeding and you go, I thought the orange numbers were for Halloween because it's kilometers. Anybody else got that? Anyway.
Quack, quack, quack. I have a soundboard.
Keep sending those. Good job.
Good job.
Okay. So yeah, why 9? Because it worked that way. And I'll go back to what I said before. If me and you were to do a treasure hunt, Kpro, and we're like, this is the park and this is the tree, and the base of this tree, we're going to bury something. You have to reverse engineer it from there. Okay, how can we lead them to this tree? There's the parking lot. So we lead them to that parking lot. You walk over to the parking lot. Okay, from that parking lot, oh, there's a street. You have to get on the street to go to the parking lot to go to the tree. How do you get to the street? From this highway. And you backward reverse engineer it that way. And in Forrest Fenn's poem, we think it's it's 9 geographic locations, the last one being the location of the chest. But he could have used names on a map. Where Warm Waters Halt could be a name on a map. It's a place you physically travel to, but it could be a name on the map is what we're trying to find. Or it could be an actual location. Like a lot of people recently have said Continental Divide. Well, I guess you could say that's a name on the map. But the problem is it runs all the way through the Rocky Mountains. So where do you go? Like, where is the physical?
Where you see, okay, somebody solved. Oh, he's not in here, so he won't know where there's like a omega looking thing right at the Continental Divide at a certain location. When he showed it to me, I was like, oh, I kind of like, if that's a coincidence, sure, it's a coincidence, but wow, that's awesome.
I mean, I like Dave Calvi, what he said so far, because everything he says ties in exactly with what Forrest has said. All you need is the poem. There's only one where Warm Waters Halt is only one in all the Rocky Mountains. It's about 10 feet. His location is about 10 feet. He won't give any more info. He's not giving anything that would give it away. But if all that's true and he was able to figure it out that way, to me, that's viable then. That's an actual place that it could be.
Well, and he said, Oz is saying, did say nobody has told him the clues in the right order. What does that mean?
Yeah, he said that. Nobody's told me the clues in the right order. What does that mean? Unless he means somebody has told me the first 2, but not all the clues. In other words, nobody solved it because they haven't gone all the way to the end. But he's saying
or maybe, let's say, for the sake of discussion, I know this is wrong in my opinion, but let's say your Homer Brown was a telephone pole and you used the wrong telephone pole and you went to the next one down that's 200 feet away and you took a nigh there. Maybe he's saying that maybe they took a wrong turn at the wrong location.
Maybe somebody has correctly mentioned to him the Homer Brown, but they didn't realize they were at the correct where Warm Waters Halt. So therefore he'd say that nobody's giving me the clues in the right order because they didn't know where they were or something. I don't know. Just trying to guess what that means. There's an old Fenn quote about the order of clues. I do remember the quote where the guy said, did you travel the same way the clues are that we're supposed to? And Forrest said, there's only one way. There's only one way. The only way to get to the treasure chest is to follow his 9 points in the poem. I don't think there's physically another way to get there, especially if you're in a canyon and you have to make a certain turn. If you're in the canyon, I know he's not going to go up and down a canyon, but if it's somewhere that's kind of a tight fit, there could only be one way to get in there.
Okay, so let's go back. So we know there are 9, but all our opinions here, because we talked a little bit about this, there are 9 clues, which are 9 points, but 9 is not important other than you need to have 9 points. But 9 does not mean anything more in our interpretation of, because really you're looking for 9 clues and 9 points, but there's going to be hints and confirmers that are going to help you along the way, because every sentence is important. What is the first stanza for? What is stanza 5 for? What is stanza 6 for? I think there's clues, confirmers and hints in everything else. That's what we're trying to.
So do you think the 9 clues are 9 nouns in the poem?
Well, we've gone. I don't. Let's see.
I don't know about all 9. I mean, the blaze. I guess that's a noun.
Where warm waters halt. Well, bring up. Do you remember that noun thing that I gave you?
It's only the first stanza, though.
Oh, okay.
I would say it makes sense because a noun.
Water is a noun.
Place or thing, and we're looking for 9, right?
Yes.
So canyon. I have it right here on the wall. Now, not far, but too far to walk. If that's a clue, that's
nope.
Is that a clue? Is that not a? I don't think it's a clue either. I think it's saying you look for the next thing. You're not walking to it. Home, because brown is capitalized. That's a noun. Now, no place for the meek. Can meek be a noun? The end is ever drawing nigh. Can end be a noun, or is nigh the clue?
I think it'd be meek, and I think meek would be a verb, right?
Now, Oztesh says no past and present clues. You have to put them in order. They're in order. What do you mean past and present clues? You have to put them in order. Forrest said they're consecutive, they're chronological, they're, what's the other C? Kooky?
Chronological, consecutive, and
contiguous. They're in order.
Yeah.
And contiguous, I think, means out in the field. They touch each other. They touch each other from one to the next.
Oh, absolutely. When I told Forrest my WWWH and he's like, where's your canyon? I'm like, oh, it's about 30 miles down. He's like, do you know what the word contiguous means? I mean, it's like touching. And I was like, oh man, I feel dumb. Roger.
We're all overthinking it.
Roger thinks there's no moderators. No, there's 2 right here. There's just no extra moderators because we didn't put an announcement out. So we knew we would only have good people that didn't need to be moderated. William says, remember Forrest hid the chest before writing the poem. Seems 9 doesn't matter because it was predetermined. Doesn't matter because it was predetermined. I don't think it was predetermined. He was like, I didn't count them before. It was only after.
And that's our point of the show. We don't think it had to be 9. We don't think Forrest said, I got to use the number 9. Let me figure out the clues to make it number 9. Number 9 is just what it happened to be when he finally have over 15 years. This is the other question, which I think is interesting. Did it take him 15 years to come up with the clues, or did it take him 15 years to write the poem to describe the clues?
Well, I should have asked Chip what year he saw.
Chip.
I did. I don't think I asked him what year he saw the poem, but Douglas said he saw several versions, and I'm assuming that was over years. We didn't ask him that though. So I believe from when he had this initial idea to final poem, so kind of womb to tomb, if you will. That's what I think. So even before
womb to tomb.
Even
hashtag. Yes, I've heard that one before.
Yeah, so I think it's from initial idea to final poem completed and treasure in its place.
Yeah, I think that he knew the clues as soon as it took him a matter of weeks probably to go, I know I'm hiding it there. Let's see where I park is here. I could call that this. It took him 15 years to put the words in the poem to disguise the clues, to make it hard to figure out what they are, in my opinion. He said he had to look up nouns. They didn't have the definition of what he thought, that kind of thing.
Well, and there was, let's see, water and waters, throw my bones. That was one that got changed. So there's 2 changes. And wasn't it wood and woods? I heard that.
I don't know.
There was 2 different ones and then maybe a third of different ones.
You hear that from Tony Woods? Hey. Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. So, okay. So I had another one and I just lost that question. Oh, here's a question I should have asked Forrest. I think it'd be interesting. Is WWWH special to him? It's so important in the poem, but is it only the poem it's important to, or is it special to him? We know his final resting location is special, but is WWWH special to him?
Right. And is the first stanza of really about where warm waters halt. Because I've gone alone in there with my treasures bold. I keep my secret where warm waters halt. It's all in the word that's key thing that I gave out. But I really do think because it's umbilical, it's something when Forrest was a kid or a teenager, which points up north, everybody. Points to Montana or Wyoming. We do have still a live audio from Forrest. Let me see here.
That's where I grew up, and that's where I'm gonna be.
It's when he grew up. So it has to do with how he or something he did when he grew up. Who knows what it was. But yeah, I think it's up there. Long time I was in New Mexico. Long time I got tripped up on the New Mexico fishing regulations. Shout out to Toby. Thanks. But yeah, and after the
I never went there.
I think it's, he says you got to think different things. Only a couple people or several have figured it out or didn't know they were there, that type thing. I think a lot of people at this point have talked about the fishing regulations. So, yeah.
Okay. Donald Stevens getting the treasure chest this weekend. Huh. Oh, Shadow just moved to Gardner about an hour ago.
Right there in
awesome.
Smack dab. That's pretty cool.
And I think employees get access to places that others don't. Cheater, pumpkin eaters.
Wow, pumpkin eater.
Okay.
Did view the picture he sent. Remember, you're like, can you get this to open? It's a pretty cool picture of West Yellowstone. It's deserted. It's a ghost town. You're muted.
Why didn't you show me? I was whining.
Yeah, you were busy doing something. I can show it right now. Can I show it on?
No. He hasn't said it. That was.
Oh, I don't know. Is that a secret? Yeah. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Don is the new rooster. Jack says he has given the title to somebody else. That's funny, Jack.
So, Goodell can ask a question, and I'd like everybody to answer it with either a yes or no in the chat. Who thinks the treasure chest will be found this year?
I don't.
I do not. I am a no. I'm a no in a big way. No.
My question for anybody that says yes is why? Why do you think it would be found this year? But Nemo says Kpro, who won the poker tourney?
I don't know. I know it was a woman. I can't remember her name. What was her name? And who did she take down? Forrest Fenn. You were taken down. I'm going to find the other Forrest Fenn's treasure, and I'm going to have an art piece from the one Forrest Fenn and the treasure chest from the other Forrest Fenn. It's
for poker pro. That's right. You guys finally figured it out.
Yep.
Michael O'Connell's in the chat. How you doing, Mike? He says no. But I'm not. Oh, as far as is it going to be found this year?
Yeah. No. Yes.
Ready to go boots on the ground. You need to vlog that, Randy. You need to do video, and then when you get home, upload it. Do video, but in such a way nobody knows where you're at. In case you want to go back. But that'd be cool to actually see a boots on the ground. I guess people have done that. Like Cynthia does her. I'm here, but nobody is really like. And this is what I think this clue is. And nobody's really narrated it, I guess, for the clues. And maybe you could do that in a way by not giving it away if you don't want people to know where you're at. But I know I'm going to do that whenever we finally do a boots on the ground.
Well, okay. And Shadow said, did anyone take a look at Old Faithful's webcam today? Was it packed? No one is there now. I did not. That would be interesting. I bet you it's in some news somewhere. First day open, how many people got out there? I do have to say, this is the perfect year to go to Yellowstone, because the year that we were there, Mike and I were there, 2 years ago? 2 summers ago?
Wasn't it last year was Function in the Junction? Or was it 10 years ago, the time?
It could have been 10 years after coronavirus. Okay, it could have been. Whenever we went.
We were there in June. End of May, beginning of June. I think it was a year ago, coming up on a year.
So everything was packed. We didn't even make it to Old Faithful because it was like an hour and a half line to get in, and we had so much other things to see. I would love to go when there wasn't just packed out. And though the US is opening up, we still don't have those. I mean, there was entire buses of European people, and they were all speaking the same language. So they had interpreters, buses of Chinese, a lot of Asian cultures come over, or Asian countries come over. This will be the perfect year to go without. I mean, I wonder what the capacities will be.
Yeah, this year it'll be a little sparse. Donald Stevens says, I'll email him you, Mike. If you find it, you make sure you email me, Donald, with some proof.
And Donald says, I have a prize for the next poker tournament. Cowlazars, Call, Kpro and Cal. There won't be any foreign tourists this year. Exactly, Shadow. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be an awesome year. So we got to have a searcher meetup.
And Kathy Ramsey says, as long as international travel is restricted, it really won't be packed. So yeah, for sure.
And Oz, exactly. If we go, I am hoping that all kids will go with us and it will be the best vacation ever. Because I will tell you, when we went to function, whenever we did, sometime pre 2020, it was a blast. And that's the thing for me. I don't go with just the intentions of boots on the ground. It becomes a wonderful experience. Like when I was searching in New Mexico, I got to meet Forrest for the first time. It was awesome.
I would say also, I think he's trying to say have a nice vacation because it's not in Yellowstone. I think that's
I know what he was saying, but I'm trying to bring it home to the positive.
All right, and we are going to play the rest of the interview. Let's just do the rest of the Forrest Fenn interview at the end of this.
Do it.
8 minutes left or something. So
Do it.
Wait for it. So because there's people who maybe have not seen it, so we'll do that at the end. Everybody, it can't stop us.
Coronavirus.
Ooh, Chasing Indy, we are going to have to coordinate timing. Okay.
Okay, breaking news. Hashtag keep your mouth shut. We are going to do an open Zoom for the Beacon Star. I want to do, and a Kpro, I hope you join me, but I know I'm just laying this on you for the first time. Beacon Star, Randy Fischel's book. I want to do an open Zoom that will not be on YouTube. This is a open Zoom for whoever wants to join, but we are not going to stream it, just to get people who has the book, who's worked on it. Let's collaborate. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Wait, there's a Tuesday, 6 p.m. What do we say? AGK's on Wednesday, right? So it'd be Tuesday, 6 p.m. But it's not an interference because this isn't for YouTube. You know what I mean? This isn't going to be broadcast. So I don't think it's a problem to do it at any time, really. You know what I'm saying? Tuesday,
Yes, I do.
Tomorrow at 6 p.m. So that's what I was thinking of doing. Mark your calendars if you have the book, you've read it, you've worked on it. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 9 p.m. Eastern. And Randy, you're welcome to come in as well if you want to. I want to see how many people would like to do a Zoom just to introduce each other, who lives in Denver, who's been out boots on the ground, how many puzzles do you think you've solved, that kind of stuff. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'd like to do it, make it either a weekly or every 2-week thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I will probably be tied up with candy because it's Tuesday night candy show. But there's like, I know you'll get maybe 4 or 5 people. And it was fun to do that for the breakfast tea and bourbon. I think we did on Saturday during church. And that was okay because there's so few people and that's okay.
Yeah.
So there'll be 3 or 4 people and I'll step in when I can, but I'm gonna be hanging with my girl.
And candy, no disrespect, I guess is the word. Because it's yeah, so Randy says I vowed not to do anything like that and that is not public. Gotcha. So I would have to stream it, which I don't want to do because this is just kind of for people to talk. So
Randy, I think you should get one of Candy's wigs and dress up and pretend you're not you and just throw out some different ideas.
Randy has said he doesn't want to be Forrest Fenn. He doesn't want to talk to searchers and do stuff like that. Oh, he said it causes potential issues for whoever does find. If you were to find the treasure chest, Kpro, what is the one thing everybody's going to say? Personal info. You got the inside hints. You got the scoop.
Teener. And they're the people that meet with him all the time.
So, yeah. So I understand, Randy, for sure. I just want to see if there's any new people who might want to collaborate on the Beacon Star.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll have Michael O'Connell on. He was on Dave Calvy's show the other night, and he was awesome, and he's in here now, and it was so fun talking with you and putting a face to a name to a face, and just a genuine human being. And so I want to say hello to Michael, who's in the room right now. There you go. And I know I would say the same thing with all of you that I have met. There's so many fun people. That's why we need to do a searcher meetup. I think it's going to be July because guess who turns 50? 50. You only turn 50 once.
Turning 50.
Who's turning 50? Cowlazars is turning 50. So,
the big 5-0.
Let's jump into the quote and we're almost done. And I have some kid situations going on, so I need to wrap up.
This video, we spread it out over 3 episodes. Here we go. And we're not even going to discuss. Let's just play it. I don't remember where
we're discussing. That's the whole reason we're doing this. We're discussing. So this might take several more.
I believe there's a lead searcher.
Yeah, see, we were ahead of this. Hang on. We already played this part.
Because they're all still out there looking. That may be a hoax, but if
we were up here
you
somewhere.
know, I've been
Mobile popped over this wireless.
Oh, well, what a place for an ad. He was about to give away the secret. All right, here we go. No, it's muted.
there are 6 or 8 major events that had to work
All
for
right,
me.
I got to back it up for that one. Hang on.
I expected to if nobody finds it, it's going to evolve and gravitate the same way it has the last couple
The question is, what happens after you pass away?
of years. I don't see anything changing.
Would you do, looking back, would you have done anything different in this chase now going into year 10?
You know, I've been so lucky. There are 6 or 8 major events that had to work for me in order for this thing to come about like it has. First of all, the poem had to be the way it is, and for that thing to come together like it did, with the amount of mystery that's in it, is unlikely. I think I spent a lot of time thinking about it, but I think I was lucky too. But then when I went to hide the treasure, I was lucky that nobody was around there, nobody anyplace. And there are several other things that make me think I had some help to put this whole thing together. It started with Ralph Lauren. I give him credit for giving me the idea.
All right. Anything you want to say on that one, Kpro? That part?
Has Ralph Lauren ever been asked about this?
I don't think so. He says he gives Ralph Lauren the credit. I think he's in his 80s like Forrest is, but I don't think anybody's ever talked to him about it. No.
I think that'd be interesting. I don't know.
It would be to contact him and just say, what do you think? You know, you sparked the idea for Forrest.
And do you remember? I bet you somebody over the years, especially a reporter or something, had. But yeah, I do think it's interesting because I think he said 11 to Candy, like 11 things had to come together, or maybe that was 11 surprises. I don't remember. I remember there was a debate over which number of things had to come together for this treasure hunt to work.
So some people are saying is, yep, definitely a place where people are usually around. But when he says there was nobody around anywhere, there was nobody around any place, I think he means all the way from when he got in his car to drive to wherever he was, from Cody. Obviously, that's where he was. Where when he parked his car, when he went, because he says the actual location is in a remote place. But where you park your car, can that be in a remote place? I don't know. You know, we don't know. We don't know where Warm Waters Haul yet, definitively. So he just says he got lucky that nobody was in any place when he went to do this thing.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the point. Chasing Indy just said 11 things had to happen. Didn't he say 6 or 8 to us? Isn't that what that quote just said?
I can replay it if you want.
Let's just say it was either, I think he said 6 or 8. That was the actual quote. So was he lying? Does the number not matter? Does it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, again, he thought every word was going to be, so is 11 important, 6 important, 8 important?
Right.
I don't know. Anyway, keep it going. Keep it going.
Waddle Man says, Cowlazars, is that the new clue Preston mentioned? That he was lucky there was no one there? We don't know. Only Douglas Preston knows that. Here we go. Super chat from Heavy Loads. This means someone's close. The poem did its job. Thank you for that super chat, Heavy Loads. We appreciate it.
Wait, what means someone is close? What means someone's close? Well, I missed it.
That, yeah, somebody put this up there, that the poem did its job. He says, Forrest saying the poem did its job. Well, that means somebody's about to find it. To me, it means the opposite. The poem did its job, that nobody's found it in 10 years. Nobody's going to find it. The poem did its job. But we all take things he says differently. All right, here we go. We got like 5 minutes left.
Okay.
What one thing would you like to say to searchers that you have not said? That's the last question for you, Forrest.
The most important thing is safety. Protect yourself, protect your family. Finding the treasure is not nearly as important as you're keeping yourself well. And I mean, there's a gal up in searching around Heppigan Lake right now. She has a terrible cold. She's been in the hospital in Idaho Falls, and she's out there. I mean, the temperature last week was 1 degree. She's out there, and I commented on Dow's blog, you know, let's shut down Montana, Wyoming, northern Colorado, but they don't care.
Yeah. Anything else?
Probably, but I can't think of.
You have been very generous, both of you, with your time.
Can I ask one question, Forrest? Just
What?
one? Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Do you still believe there's a word that is key that searchers should focus on?
Yes.
And is that word in the
Well,
poem?
you said one question.
Then you ask it, Christie.
May
Is
I-
that word in the poem?
May I ask a
I'm so far
question?
ahead of these guys.
Now, see, whenever I play this video, it hesitates, and I don't know why. Here we go.
Forrest Fenn.
Yes, Cynthia wanted to ask something. May I ask a question? Is that word in the poem?
Now, that was two questions. You asked if you could ask a question. Was the question.
Do you think, Kpro, that he honestly didn't want to answer it when he's doing this? That was two questions. I only said one, or
Oh no, I think he was completely having fun. I think he didn't want to answer it, but I think he was having a good time and being a little playful. I don't think he probably wanted to because it's caused a little bit of a storm that we as searchers got. I don't think he wanted to cause drama with this. I would think he will never answer anything in this treasure hunt. It is not like three people were demanding and had him at gunpoint. We were all having a good time. I'm just glad when he got cornered, it was by Mike and Cynthia, not the evil Kpro.
all right, here's the rest of it. Listen closely.
Question.
And you thought I was bad.
I take you literally. What's your question?
Is the key word in the poem?
Well, that's what he asked.
No, he asked you if there is one, and you said yes. My question is it in the poem?
There's one word that will help you more than some of the others
In the poem.
in the poem.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for it. That's pretty big for searchers.
But you got to have all of them. One is not going to take you there. Well, I've been asked 100.
And what do you think he meant by that? You got to have all of them. One won't take you there. I'll give my take. You give yours first.
I think it means like you need all 9 clues. You can't just focus on, you need to focus on, I believe, WWWH before everything else. But if you don't find, I know we haven't shared this one, but we will, of what's the most important clue. And he's like the last one, because that's where you pick it up. Like if you get WWWH, he has said some people have gotten WWWH. They still don't have the poem. They're in the same place as I am. And I've never gotten WWWH in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's talking about the 9 clues. When he says one won't take you there, one will only take you so far. You've got to have all of them to go all the way to the treasure chest. So to me, that means the word that will help you more than the others relates to one of the clues. And what's the hardest clue? Where warm waters halt. The key word should help us with warm waters halt. That's what I get out of that. Anyway. All right, let's play the rest.
Which is the most important clue in the poem? It's so obvious to me the most important clue is the last one because you're holding the treasure. How could you say any of the other clues are more important than that one? I'm a maverick, aren't I?
You're a rascal. That's what I call you.
A what?
A rascal. It's like, I know you're trying to say something. I'm just not smart enough to know.
I feel like that's a compliment.
Always, always.
All right, I guess that was it. Is that it? I had something else.
So
that's not
the
it.
question that Douglas deferred to you, so I will ask you together. Once Upon a While references a parking lot, but there has been 2 references to Northern Arizona University and then the Denver Museum. What is similar about those 2 museums that we should be focusing
I heard
on?
what Doug said a while ago, and I remember in the very beginning, I made a comment about the parking lot, I think at the Museum of Northern Arizona in Flagstaff, but I don't remember in what context. And looking back on it now, it certainly isn't prevalent.
So is it the 10th clue?
Is it what?
It has been now, it heard to be said, it is the 10th clue.
Well, I'm not going to talk about clues, but I'll say that the parking lot in Arizona is not relevant to the chase. That should answer your question.
Okay. Is the one in Denver?
That's Doug. He's the one that said it.
But I'm going to say this, that in what Forrest just said now, sitting in that chair, I believe a very significant clue was said. But I'm not going to say what it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
And this is
Let's add
something
some little
new.
mystery to this.
Something new that no one has gotten before.
Okay.
Well, my shadow ain't cast by a fool.
All right, and there it is, everybody. My shadow is not cast by a fool. Let me do this. Let me do this. And you brought up a good point, Kpro, as far as the Arizona and the Denver. When he says it's not relevant, Arizona's not relevant anymore. If that'll answer your question, and that is that he moved it to Denver, right? Oh, we got a super chat from Mike Thomas. Thanks, Mike. Kpro Mike, many people are stuck on the first clue. Combine the first WWH and last the Blaze clues together will be very helpful. P.S. Candy is correct on a piece of the whole puzzle. Interesting. He's saying combine Where Warm Waters Halt and the Blaze. Well, I'm not sure how we can do that.
Well, you've heard Candy's theory, right?
Which is what?
You go basically full circle. Your WWW
Oh, I see.
is the Blaze.
And that's possible.
And
Oh,
maybe you have to be at a different vantage point to be able to see. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's so far outside of my box that maybe that's what it's going to take. It's not going to be me if they find
But
it.
thank you for the super chat. We do appreciate
Yes, thank you very much. And Two Trips asked about the Northern Arizona, but he answered it with the Museum of Northern Arizona. Two different things. He might have mixed, in my opinion, he might have mixed up the words, but he ruled out, in my opinion, the Arizona parking lot. He left in play the Denver parking lot. Someone else asked me, do I still think the Denver one's in play? I do, because basically when you see all these pieced together later, I asked Forrest, I asked Doug, Forrest said to ask Doug said to ask Forrest, and then they did a joint session at the end, and you guys just saw that one. So they hot potatoed back and forth, and then I asked Forrest about the Arizona parking lot, or what was common about both of them, and he said basically rule out Arizona. And then I said, but what about Denver? And he said, ask Doug, and Doug said he didn't. I don't even think Doug said anything. So in my opinion, Denver is still in.
All right. And speaking of the Denver Museum, Beacon Star, Zoom, open Zoom tomorrow, Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific. I will post it out there. Anybody wants the link, email me, because we're not going to have it on YouTube. We're not going to broadcast it. So email me, cowlazars@gmail.com, if you want in on the Beacon Star Zoom. All right. I think that's it. Any parting words? Okay.
Yes, I am taking my winnings from the poker tournament, and Dan just asked where to ship. I would like to. You do not have the newest piece, so I want Mike to have it. So please ship it to Mike, and you already have his shipping address. And if you wanted to throw in coin 3, I wouldn't be upset. I'm just saying.
Or in lieu of the Too Far to Walk piece, because coin 3 would be acceptable. But yeah, Dan, and in the description of every video is my address for the UPS store, but you can just ask me. But thanks, I appreciate it. Now I have all 3 right on the wall, all 3 of Copper Dan's pieces plus the Copper Dan frame, and that's a perfect segue into 6 maps left. I'm sure if you talk to Copper Dan, he'd give you a good price if you wanted to frame it, create a special custom frame for the Too Far to Walk map. We only have 6 left, and that's it. We're not selling books no more. We're not selling maps no more. We're not selling coins. It's just all done.
Wow, there's some new
community. Oh yeah, there's other things. I'm not saying we're done.
We have some new things coming up,
like the top secret projects, but no more coins, no more maps, no more stuff like that. Although we do have Chaseopoly. Chaseopoly is always for sale because it was an awesome idea. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Poker, 25 minutes, guys. Poker.
Oh, there is a tournament. All right, we're just doing poker for fun. We'll figure out what the prizes are. If anybody has a prize they want to donate for a future poker tournament, email kpro3@aol.com. And okay, we'll see everybody on Thursday.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Oh, all right. We'll see ya. Bye.